Hello, and welcome to ClovenCast, the podcast where we have no intro. I'm Maple, and joining me tonight are my lovely co-hosts.
I'm Christy.
I'm Springheart.
And I'm Spirit.
And the topic of today is retail horror stories. Now, before we begin, we will, with the host of the show, please roll initiative for turn order tonight.
I got a 19.
I have a 15.
I got a 9.
A 16, s'il vous plaît.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure that's me first, and then, Christy, what did you get again? A 15?
I got the 15.
Okay, so it's gonna be me, Spring, Christy, and then Maple.
I always get the lowest roll.
Poor baby. One of these days we'll have
because
you roll
you're lucky.
The best for last.
You'll be able to regale the audience with all your awful horror tales, since I think you're probably gonna have the best ones. Like,
oh, mine is probably just gonna be ranting, honestly, and I'm just coming off like an adrenaline high of just getting an interview for today. So that's
you're gonna talk
good.
at 20 million miles an hour, and you're gonna have such a good time. But
maybe
I guess since thank you, Microsoft. I don't need an update right now. Anyways,
Do it.
I don't want to do a Microsoft update during a podcast. But anyway,
Oh, Spirit, your job, am I right?
Alright, so to explain this requires a modicum of context. So back in like 2018 and 2019, I took on a seasonal job at Michael's to earn money. And so basically what it is that at Michael's, we have a rule where you're out on the floor, and we have these little mics and earpieces that the team can communicate with. So basically what it is that I was out and I just finished, basically I was doing recovery at first, which means you take a cart through the aisles. So I just wrapped up. I usually go through framing, because a lot of people tuck stuff in framing. I don't know why, but they always put stuff. There's this one little price scanner that they would always put things in, and I don't work for Michael's anymore, just for context. But they'd always put their stuff by this little price scanner, and I'd always go there. It's like a treasure trove, and I would take it back to the recovery basket. So I go back there, and I run into the break room just to get a drink of water, and then I come back out, and my boss, my manager, comes over the not the intercom, but the earpiece. And it's just like, hey, Spirit, we need something cleaned up in aisle, I think it was like 95 or something like that. It's like the kiddie aisle. It's just like, yeah, what do we need to have cleaned up? And she's just like, I don't know, just bring a lot of paper towels and you'll see when you get there. So, I grab a cart and I grab a box. And I grab the roll of paper towels from the break room. And we're chugging along. It's a Saturday afternoon at about 3 p.m., it was shockingly quiet for a Saturday. And I'm chugging along, I'm wearing my painter's jeans and my t-shirt. I get to aisle 95, and I find this big 5-gallon bucket of slime. Green slime, like booger colored.
Ew.
Has been cracked and broken on the floor thanks to some bratty kid.
Oh, jeez.
And you know what? You can't wipe it up with a mop. You know why?
Why?
It's too viscous. So I sat there for an hour and a half, sopping up slime with paper towels on my hands and knees, getting all the gross shit on the floor caught in it too, because you know for a fact that retail, stores have disgusting floors.
Yes.
And I'm sitting there. I came home that day, I had slime all over my jeans. I even had it in my hair.
Oh no!
And when I got to the end of that was about the end of my shift, and my manager, I had 2 managers, both of my managers were cool, but this was one of the managers that I considered kind of my friend. I came to her with the box of slime paper towels, and I looked at her and was just like, I would like to go chuck this in the garbage composter, please. And she's like, go ahead, and you're done for the day. I gave her finger guns, walked to the back room, opened up the garbage, the thingy, and then I chucked it in with such a force that it resonated throughout the store.
Oh my god.
Big oof.
And then I walked to the bathroom and I washed my hands. There was nothing. I have cleaned the bathrooms, I have mopped the floors, I have done every possible disgusting thing in a retail store when it comes to at least Michael's. That was the worst.
Yeah.
But
Nope, that tops it.
I've rambled on for long enough. That's my story. Spring, would you like to share?
Sure, I'll share with the class. Hi, I'm Springhart. I also worked in retail. Um, so when I was a youngin', in my teens, this was my second job. I worked at a wonderful establishment called Zellers, a magical place that no longer exists because bankruptcy. Um, and one of the things, and I happened to get this job because my friend worked there. Bless her heart. And I got a job as a cashier. And one of the things you have to do, or had to do, I should say, as a Zeller's cashier, is you have to push the HBC credit card. So not only do you have to ring people through the cash, but you also have to be like, would you like to apply for the HBC credit card? You can save 10 to 15% on your purchase today. So there was a little bit of pressure because usually people are just trying to buy some groceries, buy some baby clothes. Like they don't want to sign up for this credit card. And sometimes it was really helpful for like big purchases because that 10 to 15% could like really work on that patio furniture. But most of the time, no one wants to sign up for your stupid credit card. And most like I live in a not so big like city, so most of people have heard the song and dance, and so no one wants to sign up for your stupid card. Also, the mall I worked in also had the Bay, which also has the HBC credit card. So there was a double whammy of people trying to ask people for this card. So near the end of my time with Zellers, they were trying to push hardcore the HBC credit card. Like, guys, you gotta like each month you had to have like a certain amount of people apply for the card. Like it was a thing. And near the end of me working there, they started what I can only call as the HBC Zero Club. And that's what it was called. It was called the Zero Club. And on the wall, on the way to the break room, was a piece of paper with people who had not gotten anyone to sign up for the card. This was a walk of shame. I'm just gonna. People can still hear me, right?
Yes,
we're
we hear
listening.
you. We're just listening and going,
Okay,
what the
just-
fuck in our mind?
Cool. Just making sure people at home, my internet's being special beans. So yeah, the piece of paper, walk of shame to the break room each day. And this would not change until everyone on the Zero Club got at least one person to sign up. And this was the most stressful thing I had ever had to experience working retail. Also, this was not like this. I don't know if any other Zellers did this, but this was trying. They were like, "Come on, you just got to get one person to apply. One person to apply." It was several months. I couldn't get anyone to apply, and there was like 3 of us left on this list. And I finally got someone to apply, and then it went up to like the one credit card club. Like they just kept going up. So it was basically this shame list. So that is my horror story, is that the management was doing like this shame, had this shame list near the end. And so it was completely like unethical bullshit that I've never like seen anywhere else where I've worked. But yeah. Zellers, HBC credit card. Fuck you.
Can I get an oof from the back?
Oof.
Thanks.
Oof, indeed.
Oh. So, Christy, retail, am I right?
Yeah, it is.
Boy, well, okay, I didn't work at retail per se, but I worked in fast food, so that's close enough. It's basically the cousin to retail, right? They're all terrible jobs.
Yep.
I got hit on, which is
Oh,
something
boy.
I never really expect considering my lack of attractiveness.
Shush, you are pretty and you are beautiful.
We love you.
Thank you. And my boyfriend agrees, luckily, but still. So, it was a raining day and I accidentally went into another room trying to find my bullet points. Anyway, so it was a rainy day at Wendy's, and I was by the counter because I have to work at the counter, and it was terrible because you actually have to interact with people. Hi, welcome to Wendy's, my usual catchphrase. May I take your order? However, there was a guy that came in, and he had some really nice tattoos. It's like, hey, my dude, nice tats.
Mm-hmm.
And for whatever reason, I couldn't tell if he was trolling me or if he actually was trying to get something out of me. But he started hitting on me.
Oh no.
Luckily, I didn't have my name tag that day.
Yikes.
So he's like, hey, baby, you like those tattoos? Well, maybe you want to take a ride on my motorcycle. I look outside. It's thundering. I don't even want to go on a motorcycle ride, even though that is my aesthetic. I'm like, sir, may I just take your order? And he just keeps going on, trying to hit on me, like, ha ha ha, I'll take this. Your number and your name? What can I call you? Sir? Fine, I'll just call you Wendy, so you can put my name down as the guy of your dreams. Like,
Wow.
I had to fucking hold my urge to punch this guy in the face, and I had to... Okay, so when you're working at Wendy's, the main procedure is you take the order, you write everything down, everything comes on screen, and you have to write down the name for the customer. That way, when you call them out, they know when to come get their order. It's like, your name, sir? You can call me the guy of your dreams. I had to resist typing in dickhead. And I'll just... So I said, I'll just type in dude. And then, afterwards, because I had management also watching me, because she was also kind of just flabbergasted, like, what the fuck is this guy's deal? However, I can't say that it wasn't too uncommon of an occurrence, considering I worked at Ghetto Wendy's.
Oh.
I have many reasons to call it Ghetto Wendy's.
That's fair.
So I went back just to, like, gather up his food and just tell him, like, okay, that guy's hitting on me. I don't feel safe coming about. Can somebody just tell him when his order is ready and whatnot, and I'm just gonna hide? Is that alright? They were like, cool, you do that. You do that, fam. Help out with the drive-thru. Cool. So, I expected him to just leave after he just got his meal to go. Stayed there for, like, I guess, like, 20 minutes before I could come back out.
Oh my gosh.
Luckily, it was a very slow day. And that's all I can remember for the Wendy's story, I guess.
Oh, gross.
I mean, it's one thing to say... However, I did learn a very valuable lesson that day. Don't ever compliment somebody with tattoos, no matter how cool they are.
Unless they're in art school and you're in class together. That's the exception.
However, when it comes to work, it's like, don't do that.
Because, like, we have, as retail workers and as fast food people, we have to be nice to you. So it's like, don't... No.
Just because we're nice doesn't mean we're hitting on you.
No, definitely not. And I learned that lesson fairly quickly.
I also hate it because the older cashiers, like, they could always, like, if someone was doing something like that, they could be rude to them and get away with it. But if you're a younger cashier, you can't do that. You'll get in shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maple, would you like to top this one off?
So, I'm not paid enough to deal with all the BS my workplace puts me through. So, it's summer currently, right? Summer gets hot. The place where I'm stationed in this grocery store is basically like a greenhouse sort of room. You know, glass all along the walls, right? Heat gets trapped. We have been asking all summer for an AC unit. And now we're starting to really get on management's case. And they're like, our manager, he's like, I'll worry about it when I get back from holidays. And we're like, I'm sorry, fucking what? So first, it was February, where we had this big snowstorm come through. Our fingers were purple, but we still had to go out, give people their orders. The drivers, granted, they're paid better. They still had to deal with their stuff. Like, winter, it was blistering cold. Our heaters weren't working, and every time we brought it up, they just kind of brushed us off until, like, we annoyed them enough that we got this dinky little heater. And now, for the summer, where, you know, greenhouse, humidity, sure, it's like 28 outside, but feels 32 and humid in our workspace. And we're working, we're active, right? We're lifting, we're heavy lifting. I'm sorry, you don't want to give us AC? What? And the fact that we only get a 5-cent raise for every $500, like 500 hours we work. So my one coworker who's been working at this grocery store for much longer than I have, she's only making an extra 25 cents more than me. That's not right, especially how we have to do a whole bunch of heavy lifting, to which for some reason our store seems to undermine how much heavy lifting we have to do, because they gave us, like, they put somebody who had like a back injury and couldn't lift more than 10 pounds into our department, and we're like, what? She can't do anything except bag bins because she has to be able to lift and take stuff out to customers. Like, why couldn't they have put her into front end? And everybody, there's always notes everywhere. Don't make sure it's not too heavy. It's like, okay, fine. Like, I won't make sure it's too heavy, but I mean, come on. Like, we have limited space that we have to work with here. Like, we're not getting any more room. We have to be able to lift heavy stuff as if we're in grocery, because they have to lift heavy stuff and they don't get a pass. Oh god. And I've talked about these two things before, where my boss told me to get over a gripe I had over a coworker, or said, well, either you can get over it or you can hand in your 2 weeks notice. And I just blinked and looked at him and went, I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, pardon? And how he acted like a child when I was trying to ask him to get unpaid time off in a department where there's more than enough people to cover my shift, and frankly, there have been people asking for more hours and they aren't getting them. So my thought process is, well, they can just have my hours. Like, it shouldn't be a problem. And he's like, well, I don't want to set a precedent. And I'm like, well, like, it's like this, that, the other thing. I'm giving all my reasons. And towards the end, he's like, well, I'm not sure how you're getting to this place then. And I said, oh, don't worry, I'll figure it out. And I walked out because I had enough. It was like 7 a.m. I was tired. I was grumpy. And what? Oh, God. And, oh, boy. My workspace would not pass an inspection. We had a bird trapped in there, and now I work at a grocery store. I work in the e-commerce, which means we have open bins in the ambient space for bugs, which frequently get in the bins, to get in there. And with the bird trapped that was pooping everywhere, a bird could poop into somebody's grocery bag. And I'm there looking at it like, how does this place pass inspection? What the hell? And expecting us to get so much done with so little space. And frick, here's a new one. Somebody complained about one person who works midnight shift. Now, management, I came in at 4 a.m. one morning, right? Not working midnight, just kind of working the later tail end of that, and then working until noon. And management, like our two big head honchos were there, just breathing down Midnight Crew's neck, which were only 2 people, basically going, you're not doing it good enough, do this, this, and this. To which they have never worked e-commerce. So they're just talking out of their ass by this point, right? And I'm there looking at them, and I looked at the amount of orders they got done, and they were way ahead of schedule kind of thing. Like all the deliveries were done. They were getting into the afternoon deliveries at 4 a.m, and they were getting into the morning pickups. And I'm like, listen, guys, they're doing well enough. Like, come on. Like, just because one person in day shift complained about one person in midnight shift doesn't mean that, well, it wasn't even related to, like, how fast they pick orders. The person in day shift complained about one, like, the midnight person, quote unquote, ratting her out. And I'm just like, what the fuck? What? Oh.
I hope you get out of this place.
To which I really hope this interview goes well.
Yeah, knock on wood.
Oh god, because if I do well with this interview, that means I'm with a better company that's like in other provinces. It isn't just in Western Canada, so it's like if when it's more of a when I move to Ontario, I should be able to get transferred within like the company to be like moving from this one to here. And you know what? I hear better things and I'm just hoping to God. I hope to God this goes well. Because I'm so tired.
I wish you all the luck, Maple. Oh my gosh.
Oh god, because I'm just so tired of this shit. And just people just just kind of excusing us. Oh, did I tell you about that one time that our union didn't protect us whatsoever?
What? Okay, Maple, we love you, but you told like 2 stories.
Okay, just one more. This one's small. And it was it's not even one that personally affected me. It was one. So there was this one person who worked in front end, and she got a complaint. Now this front end worker, she was a very good one. Like she was a very good worker. She knew what she was doing. She was efficient. Blah blah blah. Right? And she got a complaint. Now. And she was going to get a write-up. Now, the thing about write-ups is you can agree whether or not to sign off on them, right? When you're sitting in that room with the management and union worker. Well, she's sitting in that room, management just goes, okay, sign this. Now, sure, you can argue that maybe she should have read it or asked what it was, but regardless, that union member didn't say shit. They just stood there, watched it happen, and did not protect her rights as a worker. And if anything, the law could have been broken in that aspect because you had to know what you're signing, and they just omitted to tell her. So, yeah, that's cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think, because we are starting to get to the end of our recording time, but I think this kind of just all comes down to, like, in the last few minutes, it's just, people do not treat retail workers well enough, like, because, like, for example, when I was telling my story, I didn't get paid any extra for cleaning up that shit. That's usually, like, at least from my experience, whenever there's something like that, you usually call for a manager to do it.
Oh. Speaking of shit, tiny baby story. So when I was working at Zeller's, someone pooped at the bottom of the downward escalator.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. I didn't witness it, but that was a thing.
Okay, here's my question. Did they do it at the bottom, or did they do it at the top and it went down?
No. So like they like at the like on the ground, like down the down level, the bottom level, like in front of the downward escalator. So you'd get off the escalator and there would be a tiny pile of human poop. Like and Zellers had bathrooms, okay? It's not like we didn't have bathrooms. We had public bathrooms.
I'm laughing way too hard at this for my own good, but
They just had to go up the escalator. Were the bathrooms on the upstairs? Yeah, the public bathrooms were upstairs.
Yeah, I'm just here for Spirit's unadulterated joy about poop.
It was a tiny story, but...
Because
I was working that day.
I have such an immature sense of humor. You're gonna... I've laughed at stupider things than this, or more stupid.
Just a bunch of people, like, they were just standing around the escalator. It's like, found out in the workrooms, like, someone pooped. They had to clean it up. I feel so sorry for the guy who had to clean that up.
Anyway.
I would have just walked out. If I had to
How about we end off this
Yeah,
podcast?
we need to wrap up. So, retail horror stories, y'all.
Shitty
work in
situation.
retail, get the stories, and then never work in retail again if you can help it.
And then tell us about them in the comments because we want to hear about what you guys experienced.
Yeah,
we'll all
pretty much.
share
Yeah.
the pain. But
Cause
Maple,
Oh yeah,
you want to wrap
definitely.
this up?
Vent yourselves.
Sorry, what did Spirit say?
Do you want to wrap this up?
Oh, sure. I mean, okay, cool. And that's all for today's show. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell to join the Cloven crew. Also, be sure to follow us on Twitter where we announce new episodes. Lastly, if you would like to support us, be sure to like, comment, and share this video around, and be sure to join us every week on Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern, but that time may be due to change. Just check our Twitter on that. But yeah, that's all for now, and this is ClovenCast signing off.
It has been changed to 5 p.m.
Sorry, we need to update that.
Yeah, you.
We'll get to it later.
It's okay. We don't have no proper script. It's fine.
Yeah, because we'll change the notes later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.